So to close out 2022, I figured I'd make a tier list rating all the SSR heroes released in Guardian Tales for 2022. Now this tier list is entirely my opinion and is ranked based on what I value on characters in Guardian Tales. That is to say, it isn't based on any one game mode, like Colosseum for example. When ranking the characters, things I place high value on are how they feel to control, how flexible they are throughout multiple game modes, and how good are their alternatives. Other small things will play a part in the ranking as well. For example, Rue has the ability to prioritize range and or far off characters, and abilities like this should not be underestimated, because not only is it strong in Colosseum, but it would also be pivotal in a mode like Orbital Lift. So let's get the ranking started, and we will just go with Rue first since I've already mentioned her. Rue is going to get the second highest rank of A. As I've mentioned previously, when under AI control, Rue will target range and or far away heroes first, and this is a valuable skill that only she has at the moment. She is also carried by her element, which is arguably the best element in the game. What holds her back from S rank though is her party buff. Because it only benefits Earth element damage, it kind of locks her into mono Earth teams, which makes her kind of inflexible in team building. Lucky for her though, and I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but Earth is arguably the best element in the game. Rue also gets bonus points for having access to a great alternative weapon in the LNW 2000, if you don't manage to get her exclusive weapon. Next up is Garam, who lands one tier below Rue for a rank of B. Garam is the true blue glass cannon of this game, and comes with all the advantages and disadvantages of being a glass cannon. And don't fall for the trick the game plays on us, trying to convince us that he can be a healer. He sucks at it. While Garam's damage can be quite insane, his party buff traps him to water teams, and unlike Earth, water is not the strongest element currently. Garam's close friend Nari is next, and she gets an easy A. Unlike the first two characters we rated so far, Nari is very flexible. She has a great party buff in ranged attack up, which, while kind of ties her to range specific teams, doesn't lock her to any one element, meaning Nari can just equip the appropriate elemental weapon and go to town on whatever team you need her on. Nari also gets bonus points for not needing her exclusive weapon to reach her max potential. She will be just fine equipping any weapon you can give her. What holds her back from S is her element. Basic is not a beginner friendly element. That is the best way I can put it without spoiling anything. And while Nari can change her attacking element by swapping weapons, she can't change her defensive typing, which will always be basic. Next up is Oghma, a character I and many others consider the best tank in the game. I am only going to give him an A ranking though, and the reason for this is because the Chad known as Craig exists. And the more I compare Oghma to Craig, the more I start to think that Craig is way too strong for his rarity. Now I do believe that Oghma still edges out Craig to be considered the best tank, but because such a strong and easily accessible alternative exists, I can't give Oghma that S rank. From the best tank to the best healer, Miya is the only dedicated SSR healer, and by default that makes her the best. I've actually been struggling with deciding if I should give her an A or an S rank, but I think ultimately she deserves the S. She can be slapped onto any team and be your best healer. While she has a fantastic alternative in Lorraine, I know that ultimately, Miya is way ahead of Lorraine when it comes to healing proficiency. Marina, my first favorite SSR of the game, and an insane tank even though she can't equip a shield. What ultimately holds Marina back is her element, but being the only tank currently with the HP up party buff has great value, and for that she deserves an easy A. B is for Bari, and that is also where I will place her. Bari does insane damage, has a fantastic kit, especially on Mono Earth, and of course is a member of arguably the best element. Why I won't give her more than B rank though, is because I really don't have fun when controlling Bari. Her manual playstyle in my opinion just sucks. If she was more fun to play, I would bump her up to A, but no higher. One disadvantage of being part of the best element, and something that might start to affect Bari soon, is that there is stiff competition to be on Earth element teams. From one unique playstyle to another, B is also for Bianca, and she will join Bari in the B rank. Bianca has a similar charge and shoot playstyle to Bari, but with one big improvement in that she can release her charge at any point, whereas Bari has to full charge every time or get nothing. I still don't enjoy controlling Bianca, and unlike Bari, she isn't carried by her element, so B is possibly the highest Bianca will ever get. Vishuvac is going to be the first hero in C. While she oozes in style points, her overall kit isn't that great. Coupled with the fact I also don't like controlling her and I can't rate her higher than C. She has the HP party buff while not being a tank, and all of her abilities tend to help fire characters, which kind of pushes her towards fire teams, but even then she isn't that good. If you are filling a full slot on a fire team, Vish is a great stand-in, but ultimately you will look to replace her. I am Tinia! Easy, easy, easy S. Feels great to pilot, excellent overall kit, not reliant on her exclusive weapon, and can be used with any elemental team. Has a dino suit skin and also a member of arguably the best element in the game. The only knock against Tinia I can give is that competition is tight for earth element teams, but even then, Tinia can just flex onto another elemental team you have and go to town. If I had a higher tier than this, I would hands down give it to Tinia. So for Eugene, I can't say if my rating is fair as I don't have a lot of experience using her, so I'm basing this one off of limited experience. While her cool factor is S tier, I sadly have to place her actual rank at C for now. This is one I will review in the future for sure, but there is nothing standout in her kit. Lahn is in a very similar space to Eugene, where my experience with her is quite low. From looking over her skills though, she seems to have been designed as a bruiser type character, but with too many limitations on how her skills activate. Being of the basic element is also a knock against her, and having the HP party buff while not being a true tank also means that most people will choose a better tank over her when looking for the HP party buff for their squad. C for now. Lupina, Lupina, Lupina. My most wanted character from the time the Switch version launch. I wanted to have her so much and ended up mileaging either her or her weapon after going deep on her banner. Sadly, after a lot of use, I can only place her at B tier. Lupina is unique in that she does melee damage but her actual attacks fire off from a distance, making her a very safe pick for those wanting a melee damage dealer but aren't too good at getting into a close-up brawl. She does have a great party buff in crit chance up, but that is where her accolades end. Lupina for me is held back because she does nothing but damage with her kit, which isn't a bad thing normally, but if all you do is straight up damage, you need to do a lot of it, and Lupina is outpaced by some others, like Arabelle for example. Also, after some time playing her as my lead character, she doesn't feel that awesome to control. She feels a bit jittery, but I believe this is the trade-off for doing melee damage from a safe distance. Idol Eva is a very good supportive character if you are running a mono basic team. Technically, she is a good all-around support, but because her party buff only works on basic element damage, she is kind of relegated to being on basic teams only. And as I have mentioned before, basic isn't your best element in this game. B tier for now. Arabelle. Damage, damage, and even more dark type damage. She is literally the dark version to Garam, the dark glass cannon. B tier, right next to the other glass cannon. I almost forgot Lapice, but I managed to correct it before the video was finished. Even though I didn't forget though, I still don't have a lot of experience with her. Judging her mostly off of her skills, she doesn't seem to have anything outstanding besides being a stylish light melee DPS. I'm going to give her a B for now with a promise to revisit her in the future. Veronica was announced while I was working on this script, so I'm going to bump her in here second to last. I don't have any experience with her at all, but I do know she is a very unique support whose specialty is raids. When you want to min-max your raid damage, Veronica is the priestess who will bless your team. She also has a very strong arena team, but we don't have all the pieces to that team yet, so for now, I'll place her in B, with the promise that I'll be looking over her in the future. And finally, saving the bestest for lastest, the only free SSR you can get in Guardian Tales, an actual goddess from the story, and my first SSR on Switch, Plitvice. A tier. While she has quickly risen to be one of my favorite characters in the game, Her one and only true holdback is that she is locked to fire teams thanks to her party buff. She is also one of those characters where her exclusive weapon is insanely valuable to her kit, which I believe might be purpose work since you can get her for free now that I think about it. Deserving her goddess title though, Plitvice's kit is stacked. She can heal both herself and party members, and not only does this heal HP, she can also remove status ailments as well. She also has a special ability where 1 out of every 5 attacks won't do any damage or inflict any status ailment on her. Simply put, she will generally take more hits to break in the PvP modes than a normal character would. She also has this cool factor where after using her chain skill, she unlocks her true goddess powers and becomes even stronger for 10 seconds. After playing her since day 1 on Switch, I can safely say she feels fun to control as well. Definitely a character who has grown on me and one I truly enjoy. Bias aside though, A is the highest rank I can give her. And that's it for my first Guardian Tales tier list. I hope you found it valuable and or entertaining. Long videos like this aren't really my style at the moment, but I'll look into updating this tier list every quarter or so when we get more new characters and I have tested some of the old ones more thoroughly. Until next time, my name is Kujets and you can look forward to more Guardian Tales videos for the entire year of 2023. Happy holidays!